So, the 3 levels of B2B sales development and how to level up your sales organization. Okay, so let's go right into it. Level 1, what does this sales process look like? First is prospecting, doing research, building lists, validating data, and then from there you start appointment setting. You do that using, phones, emails, LinkedIn, whatever channels your prospects hang out on, and then this all gets tracked in some Google Sheet, and if they don't close, there's some note in the Google Sheet to follow up. This is the level 1 approach. This is very, very ineffective, and there are a couple of points of failure where it really breaks down, or why you cannot scale your company to 6, 7, 8 figures using just this system. Firstly, time use is inefficient. If you spend all day prospecting and writing out manual emails, sending out connection requests and doing the calling yourself, then that's just an inefficient use of your time as a business owner or as executive. Another problem is that it is unstructured, which means it's unscalable. If you take out one little brick from this house, so to say, then the whole thing crumbles and loses all of its efficiency. Another point is this incurs a lot of administrative load. You have to keep your Excel sheets organized, you have to remember when you contacted someone, and you have to keep the follow-up also going, but you don't get any notifications. You just have to think that, oh yeah, I think someone wanted to buy, but I don't quite remember. Let me just check, let me send an email. There's no structure to the process. And the administrative load, thanks to that, is very, very large. And of course, you cannot do very much volume with this, since there are only a certain amount of hours in the day that you can actually spend prospecting and reaching out to potential clients. So that when those hours are filled up, you cannot do any more work. And also, not to mention, LinkedIn has limits on how much outreach you can do. Email has limits on how many emails you can send before you're marked as a spammer, basically. So this is level 1. How do you get to level 2? And what is level 2? Well, very simply, you have to install a sales team consisting of SDRs, BDRs, appointment sellers, however you want to call them, and account executives, and if applicable, director of sales, VP of sales, etc. Usually there's a 3-to-1 ratio between account executives or closers to SDRs or setters. So that means 3 setters per closer. And what this sales team looks like traditionally is something like this, where you have your SDRs and BDRs at the bottom. There's most of them. And then above them you have your closers, around 3 SDRs per closer. And then to manage it all, you have VP of sales. And then at top of everything, depending on your size and your scale, there's either a director of sales or the CEO themselves, who actually, steers the ship. So when you have your sales team built out like this, the process would look something like this, that the SDRs, they spend the time prospecting, they do the research, they build the lists, they make sure that the data is okay, the contact data, I mean. And then they set appointments using, again, phone, email, LinkedIn. And then now everything gets put into a CRM, Salesforce, Pipedrive, HubSpot, doesn't really matter what you use. But I mean, at this scale, when you have several people or you have 20 plus people in your Salesforce, you cannot rely on sheets anymore. You have to use a CRM. It's just not possible to run that type of an organization off Google Sheets. And well, from here, when they set the appointments, they also track every other activity so that the closer knows the context of the sales opportunity. And when the closer either closes a deal or when they don't, then this moves into a follow-up sequence, which is again defined in the CRM, and the closers and the appointment setters, they get the notifications that, okay, now I have to follow up, and it's a very structured process this way. It fixes these points of failure from the first one, but sadly not every single point is fixed. To get to real scale, to go from here to level 3, we have to overcome some more points of failure. And these are inefficient time use again, since these people are only humans. They, take breaks, they get sick, they waste time. Another one is that they do not follow proven scripts. They start making up their own scripts, which are just not as effective as the ones that have been tried and tested. And again, administrative loads. I won't get into this since we covered that in the last part, or on level 1. And here, a big problem is that the lack of leads, or a lack of prospecting leads to a lack of volume. If there is any sort of slowdown over here, then the account executives and closers suffer because they do not have calls, they do not have work to do. And again, when you want to scale this, it's very hard to scale labor. For every closer, you have to hire 3 setters. You have to hire 4 people to get 1 more closer, right? And to find good salespeople is very, very tough. It's either very time consuming or very expensive. And then of course there can be other problems such as low booking rates due to faulty process or suboptimal sales assets that do not really interest the prospect and do not bring the process anywhere closer to a close. So this was level 2. How do you move to level 3, and what is level 3? For level 3 you have to install an automated acquisition infrastructure. This does all of your SDR activities for you. This is divided into 2 parts, prospecting and outreach. For prospecting, at this level you need a data partner integration. You just simply need it. There is no one to actually go really into it and manually scrape the data. You need something that researches your prospects, builds the lists, and validates all of the data that it collects. There's just no other way around it. And then it moves into outreach. For this, you can use platforms such as Instantly, SmartReach, whatever you want to automate your email and LinkedIn. You most likely are doing some sort of email automations already, but the one thing that hasn't been done before is calling automation. We have developed something that is pretty much unheard of, which is automated cold calling and warm calling. We have built the robot that does not sound like a robot, that doesn't get stuck, and that actually can handle your prospects' objections, that connects to your calendar and books appointments on autopilot. And then again, this all moves into Salesforce or whatever CRM you're using, and then your closers start closing the deals. But another key difference here is that from the follow-up, it goes back into this sequence to a long-term drip campaign, where they are pretty much either guaranteed to book a call, or they will just tell you to, F off, right? And as for the data part of integration, there are a bunch of different providers that you can use. Zoom Info, there's Apollo, LinkedIn Sales Navigator, whatever. However, we have found that most of those are very expensive, and they do not have the best interoperability with platforms like Instantly and SmartLead. And if you actually want to do volume, it costs a lot of money. But we have found a solution for that. Today we provide free access to our own proprietary database of 500 million leads, plus intent-based qualifying to make sure that your lists are as accurate as possible and they're full of people who are ready to buy. So when you look at this system now, what points of failure does this solve? Well, this now is a hands-off system that works all hours. The calling model, the AI model that makes the calls, that it doesn't know how to go off script. Then the automations remove any unnecessary activities, from here, because your SDRs do not have to spend their time researching and building lists anymore. Then you get access to our proprietary database. I won't go into that really deep. If you're interested, book a call down below and we'll speak there. And of course, there's no need to hire. You can scale at the click of a button and create multi-channel or omni-channel campaigns. So the sales team at this point at level 3 looks something like this, where you have your director of sales development, which can either be fractional, outsourced, or you can train a team member to be that guy. This director of sales development makes sure that this system doesn't break anywhere, that this is always working and producing appointments for your closers. And then you also have your VP of sales who manages the closers, and at the very top you have the director of sales or the CEO who steers the ship and thinks about the sales strategy and implements that. So based on this, do you see that if you managed to level up your sales team to level 3, to automate the activities, so you would not need to hire an entire army of sales development reps, that you could scale your company to 10 figures, 9 figures? If yes, great. If you want to do this yourself, I've attached a bunch of resources down below that you can watch and learn and start implementing this system for yourself. If you want some guidance and a step-by-step action plan on how you can implement this level 3 sales development process in your business, go down below, book a call, and one of our team members or consultants will give you the exact step-by-step that's tailored to your business on exactly how you can start outsourcing your SDR activities and generating more revenue. All right, thanks a lot for watching this, and I hope to be speaking with you on a call very, very soon. Thanks. Bye-bye.